Alex, we have Alex. Welcome to the show.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I think I.
Excuse me?
Is this Alex Jones?
Yes, it is. I was saying I'm driving to the hills of Austin, Texas. Can you hear me? Am I coming through well?
I come through fine.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, no, I mean, Mark, I like your show, and I agree with everything you're saying. But at the same time, Ron Paul is doing more within the system to educate people about the private reserve and the New World Order and trying to get us out of the war. All of this is in increments. Educated more people really than anybody in the last 35 years about socialism and the state. And, he named his firstborn son, or actually his third son, Rand. So, he certainly believes the same things that you believe, the same things I believe. But I don't really ever hear you on the show talking about how they're censoring him and attacking him and lying about him. I actually hear venom for Ron Paul. And I think he gets kind of arrogant like a Pharisee and just say, oh, we're pure anarchists and we're for nothing. He's better than everything else they're pushing, and he's calling for massively cutting the state back in a process. And so to just say, I just constantly hear how Ron Paul is bad, and I just think both you guys, frankly, the jealousy just comes right through. And I think
no.
Look, Ron Paul's going to bring more people to you than you ever have listening to you. You ought to thank God for him. Go ahead.
Well, Alex, one, you have to, if you've listened to the show, both Stefan and I have both said he's doing good. In fact, that he's the only one in the mainstream media. And I've said this on almost every show I've spoken about him. He's the only one talking about the non-aggression principle. And I've always given him credit for that. I've also spoken on the show before about him being censored. If I go back a number of weeks, my wife had given me, I guess it's a couple of months now, had given me a copy of Newsweek. And there was, I did a whole segment about how Newsweek was talking about the Republican candidates, and Ron Paul was the only one not there. So I don't think it's fair to come on and say that I have not mentioned anything good about Ron Paul, because I have, and I have definitely talked about his censorship. I have, and I've mentioned that I don't know how many times. So that's not accurate.
Let me just say this, and I'll get out of here and let you guys continue. Every time I tune in driving down the highway to 90.1, that's what I hear. And, Ron Paul, he's the knight in shining armor that's going to save us. No one is saying that. Ron Paul always says that he's just a focal point right now. Everything he's doing is good. This isn't about Ron Paul. This is about people awakening to liberty in the process. We were all dumb as dirt and weren't as deep into this as you or your co-host. And so I did hear you, and that's why I called in. And talk about, he'll do it all, he'll fix it all. Nobody's saying that. And you were sitting there implying, basically, that somehow it's bad and that we think he's this knight in shining armor. So all I'm saying is, we got a lot bigger fish to fry, a lot bigger enemies. This is going to be done in increments. It's not going to be done magically overnight. And he's bringing millions of people every week into the movement for liberty and humanity. And I'm just saying, every time I tune in the last 4 or 5 times I've heard the show, it's been knocking Ron Paul, and I probably listened 20 minutes at a pop. So, my God, it must be going on pell-mell. That's all I'm saying. And, by the way, he's finally come out with election fraud in Louisiana, and that's up on truthnews.com and prisonplanet.com. And we're taking action as much as we can within the system while we attack the system. We're attacking from within the gates and without the gates.
All right,
well, I think, sorry to interrupt, I think that it's probably more fair, Alex, to say that that I've been negative towards Ron Paul, more so than philosopher. He works in from first principles. The Ron Paul stuff to do with Christianity, particularly the fundamentalist Christianity, his rejection of evolution as anti-scientific and anti-rational. This worship of the Constitution is going to draw people to, you're absolutely right, he's going to draw some people in towards understanding more about the free market and so on. But my particular concern is that that kind of political activism is a sort of an exit before people get to anarchism. And so I think he's going to draw some people in, but I think those people are going to then go into that realm of political activism rather than go through to sort of principled or philosophical anarchism. And we also don't know how many people he's driving away who maybe aren't fundamentalist Christians and who don't respect stance on evolution and so on. So to me, it's a mixed bag, and it comes out in general negative from where I sit.
Well, appreciate Alex's call. I want to go, we have about a minute and a half before we have to go back to another break. I want to get to everybody, so please, I thank everybody for being patient. I want to go to Barry in Arizona. Barry, welcome to the No State Project.
Hey, Mark, how's it going, man?
Going good. Hey, good to talk to you, Barry.
Hey, I guess I'll just chime in on the Ron Paul thing. I had something else I wanted to ask you about, but anyways, I mean, my whole position is when people ask me is, I just say, look, somebody's going to sit in that seat. If you're a registered voter and you believe in that process, hey, vote for him. But please get past your illusions that, if you have any, that, one guy is going to take care of everything, and start being the answer, and don't look to somebody else. It starts with you, and I really believe that. And to me, it's just, I'm kind of hopeless on this situation myself because, when people start, dropping like flies from these tasers in the middle of a store and nobody does anything when an innocent woman's being completely assaulted, I mean, it's just, what hope is there, But can you hold me on the other side?
I can. I have to be quick. Only from Arizona, and I know you. But I'm glad you called.
I'll be quick.
Excellent. All right, my name is Mark Stevens. This is the No State Project. We'll be back in just a moment with my guest, Stefan Molyneux of freedomainradio.com.